Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Blitzball Champ Gaming. Your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. I just wanted to make a quick video, just taking the time to just reminisce and just pay a little tribute to two actors that recently passed away that were a pretty big part of my childhood. And those two actors were in the form of Kevin Conroy and Jason David Frank, aka JDF. Um, but yeah, the really surprising news that both of them passed away this month. Um, Kevin Conroy on November 10th, and JDF just recently, the 19th. Um, yeah, it's still a shocker even now, and it's the 22nd right now as I make this video. But it's still really hard pill to swallow. Um, you know, it wasn't that long ago that Kevin Conroy was doing more meet and greets at conventions. I mean, got a chance to meet him uh, twice actually through GalaxyCon. The first time I not only met him, but attended his Q&A panel, and then the second time was when I got my copy of Batman the animated series autographed by him, which, as you can see there, and also here. So, yeah, Batman the animated series. I mean, back in the early 90s, usually I would watch after school, and I tell you, I always enjoyed just not only the animation, the overall show. I mean, Batman's one of the most well-known superheroes in the world, but just learning about Kevin Conroy and just how, I mean, I think many Batman fans out there can really say he was truly the Batman. He truly owned that role. Batman, Bruce Wayne. Like I think we can all agree that he really owned that role. And Batman the Animated Series, still to this day, is my favorite Batman. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I did like Batman Beyond as well, but I think overall, Batman the Animated Series was what really made me fall in love more with, Batman in general. And just, learning that Kevin Conroy, he was the voice of Batman Bruce Wayne. Just, and then just what I really enjoyed the most about meeting Kevin Conroy. So when he did his Q&A session, he came out, he was introduced from the host, he walked onto the stage, and he paused for a moment. He paused, and then he got a microphone. He didn't say hey or greeted the fans or anything like that. He just grabbed a microphone and he spoke the words, "I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman." And the whole crowd went crazy. I meant bonkers. And I tell you, it just, listening to him say that, like, in person, just sent chills down my spine. Like, it was quite a magical moment. And just, hearing how much of an impact that he had. just being Batman. Because, I mean, you got to think, Batman's a very popular superhero. I mean, even kids, growing up back then, and even children today. I mean, I know many have come in late, but still, Batman is still, being shared and passed down to growing children. And I tell you, like, he really left quite a legacy voicing Batman, Bruce Wayne. Um, and I know we can all like talk about our favorite live action actors that played Batman, like the Michael Keatons, the Christian Bales, the Ben Afflecks, the Val Kilmers, all that. But I truly believe in my heart that Kevin Conroy really he owned that role to the max. And I'm not gonna say that we won't ever get another successful Batman, but I just you had quite a one of a kind with Kevin Conroy. I mean, whether it was the shows, and let's not forget the video games. Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Arkham City, my favorite. Arkham City's my favorite. You know, Injustice. So just he was truly Batman, and I'm just so blessed and honored that I got a chance to meet him twice. Got to shake his hand and just really just let him know how much I appreciated him being part of my childhood through him voicing Batman, Bruce Wayne. Like just having the opportunity to tell him that was such a huge blessing and one of my favorite memories, when it comes to Kevin Conroy. I mean, the Q&A session was excellent, but just being able to, as he's autographing my Batman animated series, but just to stand there as he's doing that and just let him know, thank you for being such a big part of my childhood, of my growing up, through the awesomeness through Batman. And I tell you, he will be missed. He died at the age of 66, and it's a big bummer because his birthday is only about a week away. His birthday's the 30th of November, so just missed his birthday. But rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. You will surely be missed. You were an excellent, the best Batman, and I'm gonna miss you. Really gonna miss you, and I'm so blessed and honored that I got a chance to meet you in person and show my appreciation. Thank you, Kevin Conroy. And then want to pay tribute to Tommy Oliver himself, Jason David Frank. He was a Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Ranger, Black Ranger. One of the best to suit up as a Power Ranger. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to meet him. I know he's been to GalaxyCon about once or twice, but his line was always packed. The times that I went, his line was always packed. And I mean, he was a big name. He was the Green Ranger. Started off, evil. When he was taken over, and then eventually became good, and just, the story behind Tommy Oliver was big. Him losing his powers as the Green Ranger, and then later on becoming the White Ranger. And I always thought he was a great actor as well, a great leader. The Power Rangers. I saw Power Rangers, the first movie, in the theater. Um, and I did see a Turbo Power Rangers movie as well. Didn't I didn't think that was better than the first movie, but you know, when it came down to Power Rangers, like I really enjoyed, the original series the most out of all the Power Ranger series that I've watched, and I've pretty much watched up to like the middle of Power Rangers in Space, but I hadn't really kept up with it afterwards. But the original series, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, will always be my favorite. Um, and of course, Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank. He was the Green Ranger. Green's my favorite color, and he had the best Zord out of them all, the Dragon Zord. White Tiger was cool when he was the White Ranger, but Dragon Zord was my all time favorite Zord of the whole series. Um, and then just not only that, but just the kind of guy he was, and was quite the martial artist. Had an MMA background, was amateur and professional, to a degree. But if I remember correctly, he's never lost uh, a MMA fight. So he was good. He was really really good, and just not only that, he even formed his own martial arts style called Toskundo. I hope I said that correctly. Toskundo. Forgive me if I mispronounce that, but I mean the guy was excellent at karate, judo, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I think he even did kickboxing. JDF, he was loaded when it came to the martial arts. And I do wish I could have seen more of his stuff, like outside of the Power Rangers. The only other thing I really saw was he was one of the gang members in an episode of Family Matters where him and the gang took on Steve Urkel and 3J and Little Richie when they used the transformation chamber that Steve Urkel built to turn into Bruce Lee's. Um, Jason David Frank was one of the gang members, so he had a fight scene in that episode. So, but yeah, that was really, other than Power Rangers. That's really the only time I've really seen anything that he's done, that was non Power Rangers, non MMA related. But and just to recap, word is that Kevin Conroy passed away from colon cancer. JDF, fortunately, the word is that he took his life. And I'm not going to go into any detail about how things went down, just out of respect. But just hearing about what happened, and he was only 49. He was only 49 years old. But just hearing about what happened, it really goes to show that you just never know what somebody could be going through. I mean, you look at things like social media and, a lot of things that people post, and, a lot of times, they could be posting one thing, but deep down, struggling, dealing with some things, you know, whether it's financial, whether it's an addiction or just, relationship issues. It could be anything. It could be anything. And, when you think about celebrities, you think typically one may think that they have it made. They're wealthy, they got a lot going for themselves, but sometimes you never know what inner demons one may be dealing with. You never know what type of struggles somebody may be going through. And there are times where, those that may be seeking help get turned away or get ignored, or those don't seek help because they're ashamed to seek help. You know what I mean? So I think if anything, just looking back at, JDF's death and how things went down, it's a good reminder, and this is even for me. This is even for me. I think it's a good reminder that, we could all learn to be more transparent. We can all be better listeners. We can all be better support systems, but most of all, more transparent. I hear sometimes a lot about how, folks say that others shouldn't, be addicted to this or that. They shouldn't be, making these kind of decisions and whatnot. But some of the times, nobody really takes the time to ask, okay, why do they make these decisions? Why do they feel a certain way? Whether it's like lack of confidence or just any type of struggle or any sort of negativity. I mean, should they feel that way? No. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a, reason to feel that way. And I just feel like, as a generation, we could definitely learn to be more transparent and get to the root of things, as to, okay, someone, and even just a small example like, low self-esteem or somebody that just looks down on themselves, lack of confidence. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't be that way. But learn why they feel that way. Like, actually take time to figure out why they feel that way. You just may get to the root of the issue. I'll share an example, just to kind of elaborate, what I mean by this. I use an example that I went through. And this might be a little bit off topic, but I'm going somewhere with this, so just bear with me. So I have a friend that I knew, that's married, and I got a chance to meet his family. He was a pastor. He was a pastor, and I was part of the young adult group, and it was a good group. It was a really good group. We were consistent. It was great, and I remember that there was a woman that I had a crush on. She was Korean, and just whatever I was, whatever advice that I got, whatever I tried, just nothing was working. Was very patient, and just whatever I tried, just it wasn't working. So my friend's wife, who is Korean, I reached out and I was like, hey, you're a woman, you're a Korean woman, maybe you can give me an idea of why this is, a thing, or why, this is such a struggle, or, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? And this, that, and the other. And she was very prejudiced towards me. And I was offended. I was very offended. And when I got home from the small group, I called up my friend and I was just like, I gotta be honest with you. I was very offended. I was very hurt, very offended by what your wife said and how she went about, the questions that I asked. And he explained to me that, she was married once before to a black man that was abusive to her, mentally, physically, you name it. And that's when I was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now I understand why she felt the way that she felt. She wasn't fully over that memory. And I can understand. I can totally understand that. Now that I had learned that, which I'm thankful for my friend for really just opening my eyes to that, for, sharing that. And I understand that, okay, good advice is you don't want to hold the mistakes of others against innocent people. But at the same time, I understood now why she acted that way towards me. So the point that I'm making is, there's been many people that have taken their lives over the years, and it's tragic. It's sad. And sometimes we never really know what they're going through, and there could be times where they're reaching out for help, but folks are ignoring them, or they may need to vent and nobody's there to listen. Whatever it may be, I think just as people in general, I think we can be more transparent. I don't know all of what JDF was going through. I only know what was shared, but like I said, I'm not going to go into it. But another thing that really stands out to me looking back on this with JDF and how he passed. One thing that I've learned, whether it's with my friends, with my family, and such, is we may have arguments, may have really bad fights, arguments, disagreements, whatnot, say some things to each other that we don't mean or that we may regret. But one thing that I've learned that I try to do as consistent as possible is, before I leave someplace or before I go to bed, make things right. Like, settle things. Make things right, whether that means I have to apologize, or, they do, or both of us do, or just we settle it. Because if it's one thing that really isn't good, you don't want to go to bed angry with somebody. You don't want to part ways hating each other, angry with each other, because you might not get a chance to say I'm sorry. You just might not get a chance to say I'm sorry. But I'm definitely gonna miss JDF. I know a couple of close friends that got a chance to meet him, and he loved his fans. He definitely loved his fans. But it just really hurts. When those type of deaths happen. Because you never know what somebody's going through. That's why one of my big motivations each day is, Lord, make me a blessing to someone. Doesn't matter who it is. Don't matter where they're from. Just however I can be a blessing. But rest in peace, Jason David Frank. Definitely gonna miss you. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a big part of my childhood. It usually came on after Batman the Animated Series. That's why this is so crazy that this even happened in the same month. But Power Rangers, that was to this day one of my favorite live action shows. And just it was a big part of my childhood. And Tommy Oliver, JDF, was the Green Ranger, my favorite color. Had the best Zord, Dragon Zord. So it's just, this one hurts. This one really, really hurts. Apparently he had 4 children. I feel for his family. I really do. But my condolences and prayers go up for the families and loved ones of both Kevin Conroy and Jason David Frank. And I am also very blessed that I at least get the opportunity to continue to remember these two by their works. That'll do it for this video. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram of Blitzball Champ Gaming. Hope everybody has a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.